Well, we had a difficult day yesterday that didn't get anywhere near the expectations that we had. Um, we ran into a day, like some of us know, are hard days. They don't always go like you like. So before we get to all that, let me just take a second just about the Amtrak derailment here. We wanted to make sure and touch base with all those that are hurting right now, and the first responders that jumped to the cause in Pierce County and all. We have hard days and tough days sometimes, and we got to find a way to bounce back from them and do right. And our hearts and our thoughts are out to all of those that are affected by that. So sometimes a football game isn't as important as the real life stuff that's going on here, and this is a classic. So hope we can just send a little love. Our day yesterday was really difficult, and it didn't go at all like we had thought. We ran into the Rams that were on it. They played a great football game. They took advantage of the opportunities that were there. They made some things happen, and then they were able to really cash in on a day that really went their way in a lot of ways. We wanted them to have to throw the football and get after the running game, and that just didn't happen for us defensively. We wanted to run the football at them and make sure that we could find balance. The score didn't let that happen, so it wound up being a really difficult game, and they were able to take full advantage of it, and we weren't. So that was that day, and we're ready to get going again. We have to. We got a big game coming up, and so we have to turn it. I know it may seem difficult for those out there to understand how we can do that, but we will, and that's how we work, and that's how we operate. And so that's what's coming. And so it's disappointing, but we got to move. Go.
What ultimately bothered you most when you went back and watched it?
That we weren't able to stop the run. The last time we played these guys, we were able to hold Todd Gurley to, 50, 60 yards or something like that, and that was a huge factor in this game. Obviously, that we weren't able to control. Certainly, once they took advantage of the turnover and they took advantage of the big return they had. We needed to respond on offense, and we weren't able to do that. And so the mixture of those two things really played into their game, and it allowed them to rush the passer like they are capable of, and allowed them to run the football like they wanted to. And so, those working together really made it difficult.
How hard is it when the field position just keeps going that way throughout the first?
I think it's 8 times. 8 times on our side of the 50. Against a team that's that functions well and it's a good solid team. We needed to make them go a long ways. We needed to make them have to throw the ball to get down the field. And those situations just played right into their strength, and they took full advantage of it.
You seemed to think yesterday that the run fits were a big part of the problem with the run defense. Was it, when you watched it on film, was it that simple?
Yeah, particularly early. The big run that happens right before the half, that skews all of the numbers and stuff. But early in the first quarter, they got the ball going pretty good, and then we had to clean up. After halftime, we were fine. You've seen us make adjustments, and where they ran the ball for under 4 yards a carry in the second half because we fixed some things that we went in wanting to do, but we got a little bit anxious, tried to get after the quarterback too much, got out of our run lanes and gave him some stuff.
You mentioned something on the radio this morning about possibly there was some distractions that you may have sensed there. What were you referring to?
Well, I don't exactly remember how I said that, but there's just there's some stuff we've been going through weeks of having a lot of guys not be able to practice, and I think it caught up with us a little bit fundamentally. We've had guys being able to make it to the games, but their involvement in the practices haven't been there, and I think we got a little off there. And so fundamentally, in a game when we need to play with great fundamentals, we didn't, and we actually kind of played our way into it somewhat on defense, and that's why we played better in third and fourth quarter. But I think that can become a problem for us. We've had a lot of guys on the injury list, and we've made it through it, but we didn't respond. I think it finally caught up with us a little bit. Just a couple of weeks ago, we played one of the best games we've ever played, and so I think that that's what happened yesterday, and we got to turn it and make sure that we get right and get back ready to go to Dallas.
Does that make it more shocking what happened yesterday, just that 2 weeks ago you did what you did against Philadelphia?
I think that's why our expectations were so high, and why we're disappointed about it, today. And but we have to move on from there.
What do you expect out of Bobby Wagner and KJ Wright this week?
Well, Bobby has come out of the game like he was a week ago, so he didn't hurt him at all to play, which we're very fortunate. So that means he'll have a really good chance to play again. KJ still has to clear everything, but he's feeling recovered and looks like he has a chance. So by Wednesday, he should be in pretty good shape to practice. Is what I've been told.
Did you guys review tape like normal, like after a normal loss on today, or did you kind of just put it all away?
No, coaches went through it. Yeah, coaches went at it.
Was there something about Jacksonville, the game and the way it ended, that might have had some impact on practice and prep?
I don't know. I think that that was an emotional game for us, and you know, maybe it could have. I don't think so. I think probably the factor that Bobby and KJ weren't able to come out of that game was maybe the factor as much as anything. But I don't think. I think we left it behind. You know, but it could. Sometimes that's what we work at early in the week to let go, and I felt like we did.
How does that impact when they're not practicing? I mean, aside from the fact they're not practicing, but it sounds like you're saying them not being there impacted the rest of the team.
No, it could have. I said I'm not trying to nail it like that. To ask me about distractions, I think it's a combination of things that affects our fundamentals. But that's another factor. Those guys are great leaders on our team, and they've been in there for years and years, and the guys count on them, and those guys weren't able to go. I wish we would have had them.
It's simplistic to boil it down to just Bobby Wagner's condition, but how much has the run game, the second half of Jacksonville and the first half yesterday, been directly related to Wagner not being able to do what he normally does?
Yeah, he's a great player. You know, he's got 100+ tackles. You know, for a reason. You know, he's out there making things happen. Bobby played hard yesterday and played tough and did a nice job for under the circumstances and all that. But you can't deny that when he came out 2 weeks ago, numbers went up and now he was in there playing in this one, so it's a little bit different.
What went into the decision to play him? And I mean, did he have to convince you, both verbally and what you saw? I saw the whole medical staff watching him before the game yesterday. But did he have to really? We had to rely on what he felt like, yeah. And so he had to tell us what he was feeling like. So that's what that workout was for, so that he could see for himself how far he could take it. That's really what we needed to do. And then we had been really clear, you know, how straight up we had to be, because we wanted to take care of him and make sure we did that properly. So he had to convey to us, you know, really what happened, not in an emotional way, but really what was making sense to him, which he did, and he was right, and it worked out, and you know, there's a lot of trust there, you know, and it worked out. He was a heck of a kid, and he wanted every way to play, but he knew that he might not be able to, and he had to go ahead and show it really to himself first, and then he had to convey that to us.
Did the film show where he was limited, like just in the
A little bit, yeah.
What was the biggest, from an offensive standpoint, what was your biggest, I guess, disappointment from what you were not able to do?
We were so far off schedule. Either a combination of a couple crucial penalties that happened or the negative plays that happened. They keep us from getting on schedule. We had, I don't know, seven or 8 plays that were 3rd and 11 or more. You know, we didn't convert any of them. You know, we converted some on the other end of it, the 3rd and 8 or less, as we did all right. But we could have had a solid game had we stayed on schedule. But when you get off schedule against a group that can rush like they can, we just made it easy for them, and they took advantage of it. And you know, it's really hard to overcome that.
When you look at the first 3 possessions of the game for you, you have a fumble, and I think you go back 10 yards on each of the next 2. Just how tough is that to get anything moving offensively, get any kind of rhythm built up?
Well, that leads us to falling behind and starts the process for them gaining, you know, a control of the game early on where they have a chance. But we just needed to respond anywhere in there, and that's what was really frustrating about it. Anywhere in there, had we put a drive together or a sequence together where we could get on the board, I think it makes a big difference. The defense holding them to 3 points the first couple times is a big deal. Then they get the ball to 1, you know, so that's 13. So the defense really hadn't had a chance to really get rolling yet, and we needed a response to kind of feed off of, and that didn't happen. So it just kind of fed into you know, a big momentum for them, and really you have to give them credit. They did a great job. They took care of the football really well. They did the things they needed to do, and it played into the running game, you know, and allowed them to continue to do that.
What was the biggest issue with the punt returns, their punt returns?
Our tackling was off. You know, we had you know, I thought Farrell Cooper was terrific on the day. We had him surrounded on the big one. There were 6 guys right there, and he got through, and we missed 2 opportunities to tackle him there. There was a couple blocks that got us out of the way, you know, but that guys could have made plays on, you know, possibly. And I think after it happened, we got a little bit cautious in trying to make sure that it didn't happen the next time, and it kind of compounded for us. We didn't come back, and we did have some good coverage later in the game. We got going, but it took us a while to get going, and there was enough firepower early that got us behind and got us in trouble in the game.
It looked like Tyler had trouble getting his kickoff returns, especially even the first one. He took it in the corner and then went diagonal to get back. Was that a blocking issue, or was it his judgment?
Well, the kick fortuitously went, you know, away from where the return was going, so that he had to make a decision to go for it or not. It's a couple yards deep, I think, and he did. He went for it. We didn't quite get around the corner on it, so sometimes that happens.
What was kind of the mood of the players today, or did you feel any lingering effects from yesterday? Or
Yeah, they're quiet. Yeah, they did a good job working out today. Everybody, you know, got the juice going in their workouts and all, but they were quiet, and they wanted to hear, you know, where we're going and what's up, and they're very respectful of being held accountable. You know, that was the first thing that everybody's got to hold themselves accountable for what they can do to do right. And I thought the response was very good under the circumstances.
In terms of trying to be consistent, is everybody holding themselves accountable? Is that the first step in it? You know, trying to build consistency.
I think it's certainly where it begins. Yeah, and I think that's why it was so obvious to talk about that in the locker room yesterday after the game. That it begins there, you know, and so we got to do a good job of that. And that way we can put it to rest and get on and move forward. And that's the best way to do it.
Did you sense any tension or anything between Earl and Bobby over the comments Earl had and the tweet?
Well, there might have been in the exchange or whatever. I think, you know, Bobby was a little upset, but I think we'll be fine.
Nick Vanette got hurt yesterday. What's his situation?
He banged his shoulder. The tests that he took were all negative, so he's okay. He's got a sore shoulder though. Should be all right.
And Justin Coleman got hurt at some point?
Yeah, he got hit again from an injury from a week ago, and he came out okay. He says he thinks he's all right.
How did you kind of assess Russell's play in general?
I thought we missed opportunities. You know, right from the first play we missed some stuff, and just chances got away from him. He battled, you know, throughout. We knew he was going to run the ball some in this game, and he did that well. But you know, there's just a few shots. You know, we missed Jimmy a little bit low on the ball that he almost caught. Dug down the middle. We missed another one earlier that he didn't show up. We didn't make the throw that we could have made. So those opportunities, we needed every one of them early on. And unfortunately, you know, he's going to knock us out of being backed up on the throw to Jimmy. You know, and we didn't get to take advantage of that. So it's always going to feel like that in the game. Like we missed the chances, you know, that might have given us a different boost, particular times in the game.
DJ Alexander also was hurt.
Yeah, he is in the protocol for concussion.
Jimmy, I think the last 2 weeks has just, I think, 1 catch for negative yards. Just out of how good a streak that he put together, then how have you seen him the last?
Yeah, it's really disappointing because you know, we really expect to get him involved, and you know, there was other chances as you saw in the game, and we missed one really big one that you might not have seen. So we were trying to go, and it just didn't happen. But it's frustrating because, you know, he's a big part of us, and he carries a lot of juice and energy for us when he makes his plays, and we need him active. We certainly would like to get him active earlier.
What's the challenge this week now with another running back who's coming fresh off a suspension?
Oh yeah, he's going to be all fired up, you know, and all that, and should be, and I'm sure that they're going to feed him. He's fresh. This is called fresh legs. Yeah, they're a terrific team. They really, you know, they have their big dudes, you know, that can make the plays. The receiver, the tight end, the running back, the quarterback on offense. They're loaded, and they got a really good front that rushes the passer like crazy. So these games it's just been a real sequence of great challenges one week after another, and here we go again. This is not easy at all. 2 8-6 teams battling for it, and there's a lot at stake, and everything's on the line for both of us, and you know, we're all pointing at it. I'm sure it'll be hard.
You talked about the players being quiet. I mean, do you feel like this is a week where you're going to need players to step up in any different way, kind of from a leadership standpoint, or do you just kind of stay there?
No different than any other week. No different than any other week. They always have to, and the coaches have to do their thing, and it's calling on all of us. You know, we come back on Wednesday, we're ready to roll.
Is Chris Carson likely to play?
No.
How about practice?
We'll see. I don't have the final from his workouts today. We'll know by Wednesday if he's practicing.
The plan for Deshaun Shedd this week?
He's still, this is his final week of the 3-week sequence. We'll figure that out at the end of the week.
If he can get back, just what could he do for special teams with all the injuries that kind of determined?
No, he's a fantastic special teams player. He's one of the best we've ever had. So if we could get him back, that could help.
In a case like tonight, do you watch the Tampa Bay Atlanta game, and do you encourage your players?
He'll be going it'll be on the screen. Yeah.
Do you guys talk about that as a team? That here's what's ahead of us?
No, we don't go that way. Really, we just got to take care of our own business.
Anything else?
There you go.
Thank you.